Hello, welcome to Time+Tide.
Hello.
I have dragged the esteemed editor of Time+Tide, Luke Benedictus, to this table with an idea that you don't quite understand, do you?
Well, we're going to give it a go. I'm going to roll with it.
So the concept is simply this. We're telling the chronology of Hamilton watches through the years with movies that have featured them. So look, the Hamilton story stretches 130 years. Where are we starting?
We're going to start in the 1940s, and this is when Hamilton really sort of cemented its military heritage. During 1942 and 1945, they actually stopped making watches for consumers because they were so behind the US war effort. During that time, they actually supplied more than 1 million watches to the US armed services. And a film that really sort of ties into that is Pearl Harbor. It's Michael Bay's high-octane extravaganza. It's Michael Bay, so like lots and lots and lots of explosions. and during that film, Josh Hartnett and Ben Affleck, they both wore the khaki field mechanical. So it's a classic field watch, and for me, that is one of the families I think Hamilton does best.
You have chosen, I can say from experience, this is the most popular Hamilton watch on the planet. So it is the khaki field mechanical bronze. I absolutely love this watch. You know, my whole team knows that I bought this watch because I had to buy it in Switzerland before we were able to bring Hamilton to Australia. And there's so much to love. I really don't need to extol its virtues. The brand don't want me to extol its virtues because they simply can't make enough of them. But, you know, how about those military feels, huh?
And also, I mean, this is, when we talk about a value proposition, this kind of redefines the term, doesn't it?
What I love about it is the anodized bronze. It's a really nice bronze alloy that is super stable, and, you know, it isn't that porous bronze, which is what I was attracted to, as well as the size. I don't have any watches this small. This is 38 millimeters. It wears like a dream. That's our first watch.
Next up, we have the Hamilton Frogman.
Yes, now this appeared in a movie in 1951, but it's from, again, the Second World War pedigree. So we're going from the infantry to the Navy. Now, obviously a watch that was worn on the wrist of frogmen in the US Army was not this large. The original watch for this started at 31 millimeters, and it's expanded here to 46. Now this watch is 300 meters water resistant. It's in stainless steel. It has a crimped wave on the rubber strap. It has some pretty insane specs. It's 51.3 millimeters lug to lug, and it's actually 53 millimeters from one side of the case to the other. So we have a very imposing modern dive watch that once again had not only its origins in the war, but also in the movies, with the movie called The Frogman from 1951, which is the year that the Frogman became mass produced. So the thing that stands out to me, Luke, is just dive watches. We talk about them so much. This is a decade and change before dive watches really became popular in recreation and with recreational divers. So once again, we have Hamilton telling history, and again through a movie.
Well, so we've been on the battlefield, we've been in the water, now let's take to the air. Hamilton is a...
We didn't plan that, but that's actually neat.
I know. When it comes to a celluloid depiction of this, we come to the film Interstellar.
Now, I found this a highly unintelligible movie. Something about a bookshelf, a library, that there was this watch.
Well, the important thing for you to know is that in the film, there's Matthew McConaughey. He plays a NASA pilot who has to fly to discover a new planet.
Yes.
And crucially, for our interest, on his wrist, he has a Hamilton khaki action pilot day date. And not only that, his daughter also has a Hamilton watch, a Hamilton khaki field Murph auto. And that's the watch we've got here today. And we won't do a spoiler alert, but let's just say it figures pretty heavily in the plotline.
It has a clear case back. It has all of these military touches that Hamilton are known for. We have cathedral hands. They're super beige infilled, so you're getting a lot of cream on the hands. Beautiful Arabics. I just think these aesthetic codes from these military watches, whether they're infantry, naval, or aviation, are still so attractive today. So this is just your kind of classic everyday watch, isn't it?
Oh, it's just super wearable.
Really nicely cambered lugs there. You can see that hugs to fit the wrist. So the Murph, I mean, you've kind of got Affleck here, you've got McConaughey here, you've got some, I don't know who was in the Frogman, but I'm sure they were great too. But it's what a pedigree and what a way to tell history.